Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so you're a manager. You've heard the word blockchain a million times, right? But what does it actually mean for your business? Well, today we're cutting through all the hype. We're going to give you the practical framework you actually need. So here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to look at the problem blockchain is trying to solve. Then we'll get into what it actually is, the different flavors it comes in, some of the real-world challenges, because it's not all smooth sailing. And then we'll wrap up with a clear playbook for your first steps. All right, let's jump right in. To really get why blockchain is such a big deal, you first have to understand what's broken about the way we do things now. Think about it. Every single time your business does, well, anything, sends money, buys stock, signs a big contract, who's in the middle? You've got banks, lawyers, all these third parties, right? It creates this classic hub-and-spoke system. And that hub in the middle, man, it can really slow things down. It becomes a huge bottleneck. And those bottlenecks, they lead to a whole bunch of problems. Look, everyone involved is keeping their own separate records, their own ledger. So what you end up with are multiple, totally out of sync versions of the truth. It's messy. And because nobody can see what anyone else is doing, settling a simple transaction can take days, sometimes even weeks. It's slow, it's expensive, and as we've seen with some massive data breaches, it's pretty darn vulnerable. Okay, so if the old way has all these issues, what's the fix? Well, this is where blockchain comes into the picture. People often call it a new trust protocol, and that's a pretty good way to think about it. So what is it really? At its heart, blockchain is just a shared digital ledger. The best way to picture it is like a digital notebook full of transactions. But here's the key difference. Instead of one person or one company holding that notebook, it's copied and spread out across a huge network of computers. Every single person on that network has the exact same copy, no single owner. And this really shows you the before and after. On one side, you've got the old way, a total mess of different ledgers. On the other, you have the blockchain way, one single shared source of truth. You see how we're getting rid of that central middleman? Everything becomes direct, peer-to-peer. And that makes the whole system way more transparent and a lot tougher to break. Okay, so how does a transaction actually get on the chain? It's pretty straightforward. First, someone requests the transaction. That gets bundled up into a block. Then that block is broadcast to everyone, and I mean everyone, on the network. All the computers on the network, the nodes, then check it out and validate it. Once enough of them say, yep, this looks good, that block gets locked onto the end of the chain. And that's it. It's permanent, unchangeable. So what makes all this possible? It really boils down to 5 core ideas. 1, it's a distributed database. 2, it's peer-to-peer. 3, it's transparent but pseudonymous, so you can see what's happening but not necessarily who is doing it. 4, and this is huge, the records are irreversible. Once it's in for good. And 5, you've got what's called computational logic. This is the magic behind smart contracts. Basically, code that automatically executes a deal when certain conditions are met. No more waiting on someone to sign off. Okay, so now we have a feel for how this thing works. But, and this is a really important but for any manager, not all blockchains are the same. You've got public ones and private ones, and knowing the difference is absolutely crucial for any business application. Here's the easiest way to think about it. A public blockchain, like what Bitcoin runs on, that's like the Wild West of the open internet. Anybody can show up and join the party. But a private blockchain, that's more like your company's private internet. You have to be invited. Access is restricted, the participants are known, and that gives a business all the control, privacy, and governance it needs. You can see why companies are leaning this way. But hang on. This might be the most important question in this whole explainer. Before you rush off to do blockchain, you have to stop and ask, do you actually need one? Seriously, if your problem doesn't involve multiple different parties all needing to write to a shared, permanent record, then you know what? A good old-fashioned database is probably simpler, cheaper, and way better for the job. Don't use a blockchain just for the sake of it. All right, we've talked a lot about the potential, and it is huge, but let's get real for a minute. We need to be totally clear-eyed about the challenges, because implementing a blockchain solution is, well, it's not easy. Yeah, this is not a plug-and-play technology, not by a long shot. For one, some blockchains can be really slow. They just can't handle a ton of transactions at once. Then there's integration. Trying to connect this new tech to all your old legacy IT systems, that's a massive headache. But maybe the biggest hurdle is governance. I mean, think about it. If you and your partners are all sharing a ledger, who makes the rules? Figuring that out without one person in charge is a gigantic challenge.
Okay, let's talk security for a second. There's this one famous potential vulnerability in the blockchain world that always comes up, and it all revolves around this number, 51%. So what is this all about? How can a system that's supposed to be super secure have this kind of Achilles heel?
It's called a 51% attack. And the logic is pretty simple, actually. Remember how the network validates transactions by voting? It's all about majority rule. Well, if a single person or group could get control of more than half of the network's computing power, they could outvote everyone else. They could theoretically start manipulating the ledger. It's a powerful reminder that even in a decentralized system, you still have to worry about power getting concentrated in one place. Okay, so we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. We know the promise, but we also know the pitfalls. So as a manager, what do you actually do? What's the practical way to get started? All right, here's your playbook. Step 1, you have to change your mindset. This isn't just about your company. It's about your entire ecosystem. You've got to think beyond your own four walls. Step 2, start small. And listen, this is really important. Your first project is not about making a ton of money. It's about learning. The real win is figuring out how this new way of trusting each other can change your business relationships. And third, start getting your company ready for a whole new way of making rules, one that's shared and automated. And really, that all leads to this key point. At the end of the day, the technology is just an enabler. It's only one piece of the puzzle. To really succeed with blockchain, you need a much bigger organizational transformation. And that has to come from the very top. It needs to be a priority for the entire executive team. So let's leave you with this. This is the one question to take back to your team. Blockchain is not a magic wand. It's not going to solve every problem you have. But which of your biggest problems could it solve? I'm talking about those huge challenges you face with trust, with transparency, especially when you're working with a bunch of different partners. For those problems, it might just be the game changer you've been looking for. And now you've got the framework to start figuring that out.